Yo, what is up everybody? John from Top Tactics here bringing another video. Today we have a very exciting guest. It is Cody Jiru. Cody is the #1 Drukhari player in the world. He told me that he's been on Joe's Wargames live stream between 12 and 15 times. You may recognize him from that. He was just on a couple weeks ago. I recently checked his record on BCP. He's actually podiumed in every single GT he's played in. So really awesome discussion, really awesome dude. We had a great conversation. We talked Tau versus Drukhari, the matchups, some tech that we can take into each other, and at the end we also just kind of talk shop. We talk some Forgeworld, talk about 10th edition, Pariah, Nexus, whatnot. So definitely stick around. I'll have more interviews and videos like this coming up in the future. So if you're enjoying this type of content, please shoot me a like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, we'll just get right into the video. I have people telling me that Tau Drukhari isn't like a super interesting matchup, which I think is a hot take. I think there is like, I think it is an interesting matchup personally, but I know you've only basically played Drukhari since I've known you, which isn't very long. But I'm curious, like, how'd you get started with Drukhari? Like, do you play other armies? Because I honestly don't even know. And if you do, why have you like chosen to play Drukhari for most of the edition?
Sure, man. Yeah, I can. Like, you want me to answer that, or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, please.
Oh, okay. So last like competitive season, I actually played Eldar,
Oh, okay.
and so not jumping on the train, I actually played him in at the end of ninth
Whoa.
because yeah. So I have like the armies I own are the elf armies. Like I have a
Okay,
Harlequin's army, I have
got it.
Eldar,
Got it.
and so like I at the end of ninth, I was like kind of bored of Drukhari. Like I was like, man, I played him to the bone. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing else new.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I might as well just build and paint up like Eldar. And
Uh,
then Eldar got fucking tuned to the nines, but I was already halfway through the season. And
sure.
I'm like, well, I don't want to stop playing them. So
Yeah.
I then started mixing in like Anari so I could still get the Drukhari feel and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then after LVO, I jumped back on Drukhari because I just like missed him.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like you were the
So
first one to start like running, putting Drukhari stuff in your Eldar list. Am I?
yeah,
Yeah. So what
yeah.
was
I
the
mean, like
initial
I
build?
think
Like,
so like most people like they would just run the Incarn,
uh-huh.
and that's like their non-Eldar stuff. But
Yeah.
like um, I mean, I was running a couple beast packs. I was running
Yeah.
Scourge.
Mm-hmm.
I was running Ravagers. Because like Eldar anti-tanks, like you either have fire prisms
Mm-hmm.
or you have like a bunch of bright lances, but their bright lances are like on expensive like platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Drukhari, it's like, oh, I can get a Ravager for the same price as a Warwalker, and I
Mm-hmm.
get three of them.
Sure.
So it's like I can just trade them out. The re-rolling a hit and wound is like Drukhari's fucking dream.
Fair.
Like
Yeah.
holy shit, like because they get the re-rolls to hit, but it's the one re-roll to wound that you want for lances and
Yeah,
stuff
it's
like
pretty
that.
gnarly.
Um, and so like just being able to do that, and I thought like Eldar melee wasn't the best. Drukhari melee, good.
Pretty
And
decent.
so being able to kind of siphon in some of that stuff and do that was really nice. And it just helped kind of transition me into Drukhari more.
Sure. So you played what is it called? The initial detachment for a while. Um
Real
the
space raid? No,
Yeah, you
I
didn't play.
never.
You didn't play. Oh, you just played Eldar with Drukhari
Yeah,
in it, and then you've played
yeah.
strictly the new detachment.
Like I think I started with Real Space Raid. I
Uh huh.
never played an event with it,
Hmm.
because Skysplinter came out.
Oh yeah.
And so when Skysplinter came out, like once you start playing it, like I've been playing for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And so being able to play, like you're literally with Skysplinter, you play Drukhari the way Drukhari should be played.
Hmm.
Like you run around, I get out of boats, I
Yeah.
attack you, I die. Who cares? I
Sure.
get back in the boat. Cool. Like you got enough tricks and enough damage and
Yeah.
enough, reliability to just be good. And like what I really like is you have to play every game
Hmm.
as Drukhari. Like it's not just I just roll my models out, you
Yeah.
suck, I'm good.
Yep.
I
Sure.
win. Like if I still make mistakes, like I still
Yeah. You could
lose.
you could
I
feel them.
still get on the back foot.
Yeah. It can hurt.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm curious, like, what you thought if you got a chance to watch the video. If you didn't, no big deal.
I did.
You did. Yeah. I mean, listen. I'm happy to be wrong. So please tell me where I'm wrong. I'd love to
Oh,
hear. Yeah. Yeah. Just hit me with hit me right away. I'm sure you want to talk about the Tantalus in the court at some point, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, because they're part of the. But anywho, I'd love to just hear your thoughts on the
So
matchup, your
man,
perspective.
yeah. So here, let me actually. I wrote some stuff down. I
Oh,
watched it
thank you.
twice just so I
Okay,
could,
sick.
if I could do it. So like, I thought your key units for Drukhari are like spot on, right? Like beast packs, right? Like anybody that's running Drukhari, if they're not running multiple beast packs, like I don't know what you're doing.
That's what I'm saying.
Especially at the price point right now. Like
How much
we
are
got
they?
2 months before 105.
Oh, dude. Ew.
105 for Scout 9, move 12, 21 T4 wounds with an
Yeah,
invuln,
hate
and
it.
then you just wound shenanigan around.
Yeah, hate so
And they
much.
do enough damage like to be good.
Yeah,
Uh like
it's not incidental.
uh
It's like, okay, yeah, well, I'll kill any trash unit you have, and my trash units at least. You'll kill 10
yeah.
mans. Like you'll put like a devilfish or a hammerhead down to like 8 or something, just like something annoying.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, now you got what are you gonna do? Stay tied up, not move?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Or are you
screwed.
gonna fall back? Well, do you fall back, shoot and charge? No?
Oh,
Okay.
whoopsies.
Like that's
Yeah,
yeah. And so you said like, oh man, you could put people in beast pack jail. Like, yeah, I've like literally done that.
I watched you
Two
basically
people.
do it. Like what was it last weekend? 2 weekends ago?
Yeah, to
When you
sisters.
oh my gosh, man, that was gross. I was just
Yeah.
like, here it comes. Here it
Yeah.
comes. Seen this number before.
And I think like they're so big, and I mean, me and you have played twice, and
Yeah.
really we laughed. Whereas like, man, whoever gets to go first is a big deal, and
Yeah.
going first with the scout moves is so big for both of us.
Yeah.
And I think it's odd because like a lot of people always want to go second,
Mhm.
like in Pariah,
Yeah.
but for us, it's almost like I don't mind being aggressive for
Uh-huh.
Drukhari, but I think Tau being aggressive into Drukhari is a weird, really good counterplay.
So it's interesting you say
Um,
that. I've had very similar thoughts about Pariah Nexus where a lot of armies want to go second. And like my go second win rate is better than my go first win rate. So what I've been trying to do is build a list that specifically likes to go first. And basically like the one unit that really so it's two components, right? You put the scout move enhancement on
yeah,
one of the Cadre Fireblades so you can scout 2 Riptides up 6. Cool. Or a Hammerhead and a Riptide. And then it is a 3-man Piranha unit, basically. 3-man Piranha
okay,
unit and a 1-man and a solo. And it scouts 9, moves 20, and then it shoots you with 3 Meltas that are Melta 4 and 6 Secret Missiles. And it's just
yeah,
also like similar to a Beast Pack in that like T7 7 wounds is just really awkward. Um,
yeah.
like it's really hard to chew through, harder than you'd think. So anywho, just like couldn't agree more that like building a list and like having a strategy for going first is really important because tons of armies right now just want to like sit back and just be like, sick, I'm going second. Like I could score bottom of 5, I could score 35. Like so anyhow, totally agree.
Yeah, well, I think too, like the ability to scout changes how people deploy, changes how people reserve too,
Sure.
and how they think. Because if they're not thinking about that kind of stuff, you're probably going to win the game anyway.
Uh
But
huh.
the good players, those top-notch guys, like if they got to sit there and go like, "Damn, this dude goes first. Is he just going to run 3 beast packs at me?"
Mhm.
Sometimes yes,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes no,
Uh huh.
But like if I do you have an answer to that? And I'll just look and it's like, I mean, sure, for 2 turns you can kill them, and then I get to stage, I get to score,
Yeah,
and
with like a Chronos or like a Venom on an objective, like you don't have to
right
like give anything away.
now, and beast packs like I'm not losing points. They're doing damage. They're killing chaff. They're killing screens. And for me, like my philosophy is like I like to take pieces off the board.
Mhm.
Right. I want you to play with less.
Yeah.
Right. And
Sure.
so I know people like to do like a points thing, like, oh, beast packs are 105, scouts are 60 or 65, whatever
Sure.
they are. You're losing 40 points. I was like, well, no, like I'm losing a unit that will score for me sometimes, but
Mhm.
they more move block, they more, create pressure than just like sit on objectives.
Sure. Yeah.
You don't get to uppy downy those scouts. You don't get the OC. You don't get because anything kills my stuff.
Yeah.
Right, bolters kill my transports. Bolters kill my dudes.
Mhm.
Right, and you know the pain too because we're the same.
Mhm.
And it's like I want to eliminate those and be like, well, now you got to hold that objective with the Riptide,
Yeah.
which means that Riptide's up here,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
You want to move those hammerheads up, cool. Like I appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you.
And so like that's the kind of stuff that you gotta worry about. And then it's
Uh-huh.
like, well, I go second. Well, I'll scout into the ruin that you can't see me,
Yeah.
and Are you gonna move forward? Okay, then I'll come out and
Sure.
get you.
Yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
so I think it's that mind game and the just the ability. And sometimes, man, they live longer than they should,
Yeah,
like a lot.
dude. Like, if
And
I don't put a breacher unit into one, like, I mean, honestly, I think I have to put like 2 Riptides. Like, it's not just like 1 damage dealer. It's
right,
if it's not a breacher unit, it's 2 damage dealers, and that's really annoying.
yeah,
That's really annoying.
yep.
But anyways, you were saying about the matchup.
Yeah, so I think Beast. What else did I put? You were right on with the Scourge. And the biggest thing, like you mentioned, is the SMS. Like you either, I think, and I was actually talking to Tom about this too,
Mm-hmm.
was
Yeah.
you either have enough SMS to do something, or you just ditch all the SMS.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, great
And if you
point.
got 30 shots, like 30 shots, even if they hit on 4s or 5s, like you're gonna get some through. I got
Mm-hmm.
trash saves. Like they're gonna cause wounds, and they'll kill mandrakes.
Mm-hmm.
They'll force me to roll dice with Scourge, and
Mm-hmm.
so just the threat of those makes me deep strike Scourge right away.
Yeah, exactly.
Because otherwise they get picked up for nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and even if you kill 2 of the Dark Lances, so 2 Dark Lances, like you're not scared of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to use them.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
And
They
so
just
that's
turned
the big
into an
thing.
expensive scoring unit.
Yeah. And I think like so typical I don't run I mean maybe it's becoming more typical with the Tantalus,
Mm-hmm.
but I think you got 2 modes of thought now with Skysplinter. You're either
Mm-hmm.
running 7-8 transports
Okay.
or you're running 2 or 3 transports and the Tantalus with the court.
Yep.
And the Tantalus is money into Tau, I think, because
Okay.
I mean it's strength 10, it's
Yep.
AP 2 damage.
Yep.
You have the minus damage strat, but
Mm-hmm.
2 CP for you guys is like kind of rough.
It is hefty. Yeah.
But I mean 12 shots with the Tantalus is really good. And it's good into anything that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not gonna kill a hammerhead on its own, but
Yep.
you got 6 wounds left, I'm gonna shoot that thing at it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And the
And
court
then
especially is so spooky, dude.
dude, the court is it's the best unit of the book,
Yeah.
right? The strat you forgot to mention though was
The
the
sustain
sustain 2
too.
strat.
Yeah, I did.
Dude,
Yeah.
it is just freaking bonkers. Now, not the best into like 2-up save guys, so you don't really want to shoot into the Riptides unless you have to.
Uh-huh.
But man, dude, like just being able to pour wounds. The biggest thing Tau have is like all your suits being vehicles and
Uh-huh.
not infantry.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Dude, it sucks.
You're
right?
not bringing up Haywire to the party, man.
No, dude. And oh yeah, I mean I'll go to Haywire here in a second,
Yeah.
but like the court just gets out and it's like, hey, you got 3-up save vehicles. Take 16 saves from shitty splinter weapons.
Yeah.
Oh man, you failed 5 or 6. That's cool,
Yeah.
right? Those breachers, if they're out, they're dead.
Uh-huh. Dude,
But,
that video,
like
you on stream hitting that 6 with the Darklands with sustain 2, didn't you just like split it off into a Cascadator? And
yeah,
you're like, I'm gonna throw this one Darklance in the Cascadator, hit a 6, and you're like, okay, so your Cascader's dead.
yeah,
That was hilarious, dude.
yeah. I did that actually. I played Thunderwolves last weekend at a GT, and I
Uh-huh.
hit the Darklands and I hit the blaster
Oh, dude.
with 6s.
How many
It didn't help. I mean, he made literally 6 4-ups, so it
Still,
like didn't help me.
dude,
But,
every
like,
once in a
he
while.
was, oh, dude, tight butthole moments all around, right? Like
Yeah.
it was bad. But like the thing with Haywire Scourge, man, is like you hit the nail on the head, man. The reason why I don't particularly like him
Uh-huh.
is because of the 24-inch range.
Yeah.
If I have 24, you have 24, you're overwatching.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, shit, on stream, I lost 5 Scourge to Morven Vols Heavy
Oh,
Bolter.
dude, yeah. Dude, I ran into the
4 6s, but
still the Overwatch is gnarly. Like I mean,
yeah.
the Morvenval Overwatch, the unit is just like, what are we doing here? Why do we get 2
Right.
shooting activations? Like, come on.
Well, and I was trying to be Cajun, just be like, "Oh, you can only see me with the spear," and he's like, "Yeah, if I get all
Anyway.
anyway." And it's just like, "Oh, what's
Sustain.
this? 4 6s,
Yeah.
8 hits,
Yeah.
8 wounds." I'm like, "Oh, I got a 4-up. Like, I'll be all right." Nah,
No.
all dead.
Gross. Hated.
But that's why I personally don't like Haywire
Mhm.
on Skirt.
Okay.
When
Yeah.
when I'm running Talos,
Yep.
great vehicle for him.
Mhm.
and Talos and Kronos are like your piranhas, right? Awkward,
Yep.
T7, 7 wounds, 3 up, have an invuln, have feel no pain.
Yeah.
And it's like you yeah, you don't know what like you want to shoot seekers into them, cool. You want to
Sure.
shoot like a riptide, yeah, okay. Like
Mm-hmm.
like it's never because feel no pain just throws math out the window.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Is it a 5-up
like
or a
if you're
6-up?
5 up,
Dude, yeah. It makes things
yeah,
real weird. Yeah.
yep.
Don't like that.
And with 4 damage, it's like, man, dude, you better get three through, maybe 4 through
Ugh.
to make it for sure. And
Yucky,
it's
dude.
like, I'll take that.
Yeah, 100%. Wow.
Um, but yeah, court with the Tantalus is like my main unit.
Mm-hmm.
Incubi are always solid. They're usually one and done though
Yeah.
with Tau.
Yep. How many units have
So
you
for
been running lately? Is it just like one or? Because I've seen
so
less and
traditionally I
less,
ran
honestly.
Yeah, traditionally I ran 1 of 10, and then
Uh-huh.
this last tournament, it was they ruled that you could actually have all of the archons.
Was this the local?
This was the no, this was in Arkansas last weekend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
So they ruled that you could have all of the archons auras. So I just ran a third one because
yeah.
it's just really good, and I
Sure.
just ran them with 5 incubi, which I actually really enjoyed. Just having a unit that can do exactly what you said: get out of the venom, come back for free,
Mm-hmm.
and we're good to go.
Yeah, not have
But
them try to
usually,
do
like
too much work. Just like be
yep,
efficient, pick stuff up, pick up scoring units, stuff like that. Yeah.
yep, clean up units, double charge them
Mm-hmm.
with stuff if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
The 10 man usually into Tau will, I'm going to try to pick up a Riptide, and I could just throw so many wounds on that you're 4 up.
I did.
Like
Yeah, I did the
you're
math.
making them, you're making,
It's
yeah,
80%. Like 80% of the time you take me out. Like that's.
yeah. And that's, I mean, from a points perspective, that's a worthy trade.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I can like tag something else just to make things awkward and force you to do stuff that you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, it's like, yeah, they'll kill a Riptide and then they die.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, if that's worthwhile, like that's fine.
Sure.
But the threat of them is just insane now with pivot too, because get out behind the wall, pivot, gain. I gain, I think, like 1.5 or 2 inches, even with the minus
Oh
pivot,
wow.
and then move,
Uh-huh.
the 14 and then get out 3, reroll the charge and everything. Like it's nice.
Yeah.
So they're solid. One of the things too that I've had actually happen to me
Mm-hmm.
for Tau is like if I get into combat, I wouldn't be afraid of heroicing in like a suit
Yeah.
to stop me from free falling. But like if you got like a squad like your flamer suits, if you just heroic them in
Mm-hmm.
and like kind of if you can get them behind me,
Yeah.
right? I can't fall back through you.
Sure.
I got to fall back around you, which really reduces the amount of movement that I'm going to have.
Yep.
So getting back to my transport's tough.
Uh-huh.
I could get free hits on them, I guess, if I want to,
Yeah.
but most of the time I probably shouldn't kill 3 suits and maybe a commander and whatever I charge.
Yep. Sure.
And so keeping me in combat just means then you just shoot and kill me.
That's yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I love that
and
idea.
so
Because
and like yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say like when so this is a little bit of a tangent, but when Warp Towns came out, I was like, Warp Towns are literally my nemesis. They're gonna eat me alive. They're gonna eat all my breachers, like kill a unit for free. So I've been like plotting, like I'm gonna run into one CSM player who's gonna charge a unit of Warp Towns within 6 of a Riptide, and I'm gonna heroic the Riptide into combat, and they're gonna be stuck, and I'm gonna wipe that whole freaking unit. Very similar concept, right? Like I think yeah, you're right on the money. Like it would be totally worth it, especially it only being 1 CP. Like I mean, we're not doing it for damage. We're just doing it to stick units. I can fall back and shoot, so like screw it, you know.
Yeah.
Same thing
Yeah,
with the
you can
flamer
fall back
suits.
and
They
shoot.
both of them can.
Yeah, you can fall back and shoot. Do it with a ghost keel. Do it with a riptide. Do it with your suits. Because yeah, most of the time it's like, man, I can't. I'm not counting on that. And so being able to kind of layer your units enough make that happen, I think is important. Because really, as Drukhari, we want to kill you, and then we want to dictate the pace.
Mm-hmm.
And so when stuff like that happens, like you guys being aggressive and things,
Yeah.
I think it really forces us to have to play a lot differently.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of times too, like you might be giving your opponent like sometimes too much credit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, he might heroic here.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Sure.
I personally, I like kind of forcing my opponents to do things like,
Uh-huh.
hey man, like, yeah, you should heroic right here. You know, like, use the CP, you don't got it later.
Yeah. Are you gonna Overwatch? Are you gonna Overwatch?
Yeah. Code them into the Overwatch again,
Yeah.
man. You want Overwatch? No, dude, you never take the first Overwatch.
Don't take the first
right?
one. Yeah. Especially if it's a good player. You know they're joshing you.
Yep. Yep. But yeah, like it's good, man, and I think it's a real cat and mouse kind of game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think as a Drukhari player, like we're used to trading, we're used to like playing that game, and I think as a Tau player, you got to be willing, like, dude, lose the Riptide to gain the primary, lose this suit unit to advance up the field or something like that, like, because you're not you have to force Drukhari to do things that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
To not, like, there's too many times where you just roll, like, I'll roll in and it's like I can just do what I want to do and nobody's stopping me.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to do the heroic. You have to charge in with stuff that Tau Assault I know sucks, but you got to charge in with suits. I don't have fallback and charge.
Yep.
Right.
Sure.
With stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's huge. You can shoot an assault with suits and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to take advantage of those kind of things, I think are huge in the matchup.
It's something, honestly, that I have. It's like an area of my skill set that I could be better at for sure. Is being willing to like trade away big pieces. Like I do have a hard time with that. Maybe it's from like Kaoyan, where like I'm just so used to like playing KG and like conserving my Riptides. So that's still, and I'm playing Retaliation Cadre now, and man, it is sacrificing like a suit unit. It feels weird. Like I know I have a 3-inch, and then I get to turn 3 and I have like 2 suits or 3 suits in the air. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna 3-inch one, and then 2 of them are gonna like come back like in my deployment zone and like kill something that's on an objective, and then they score primary on one objective, I don't score primary on my objective, and I'm like, wait a second, this isn't working,
Right.
So, anyways, it's a good reminder. I think it would be really interesting to play a game, because we only played Kaoyan. We didn't play Pariah Nexus, or I wasn't playing Mont'ka when we played each other. So I'd be really curious to see if we were able to learn anything from a game. In Pariah. I mean, obviously it'll be really different.
Yeah, and I think too, like a big thing to take advantage of with Pariah, like I'm a big reserves guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love stuff in reserves, man. And I think it's super important. I think next to having like some sort of infiltrating unit, having reserves is like the second most important thing. Like you need something to be able to do, go over there. You can't just be, oh, you're fast, so what does that matter? Well, yeah, but like I need to like still go over there.
Yeah. And being able to threaten, like forcing your opponent to screen even, like that is like, that is exerting some amount of board control. Like Drukhari doesn't have an issue with it per se, but there are tons of other armies that are like, okay, we're Chaos Knights, we don't really like screening turns 3, 4, and 5. Like that's why I like the Vespid, because they make things really, really weird.
Oh yeah, well, and two, like a lot of people are hyper focused on screening turn 1 and turn 2,
Yeah.
and then turn 3, it's like I don't want to screen anymore.
Yeah.
Or turn 4 or 5, they're like, shit, I forgot to screen. It's like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm getting established locus in the back. I'm getting, I'm doing this, and that's the other thing too. Is like the secondaries, man. Like, I mean, how many times have you drawn? I've drawn recover assets and sabotage.
Yeah.
Like on the same turn. I think those two cards are like glued to each other on my deck. I swear I roll. I get all the action ones together. And it's like, oh, perform these 4 actions in this one turn.
Plus primaries in action too, like terraform or something.
Yeah. Right. Oh, go guard this thing and then do this, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Ugh.
And so, but that's what they help with. They help with that,
Mhm.
being able to do it. Um, but yeah, and I think like when I play Tau,
Mhm.
especially if it's Mont'ka, it's well, how aggressive, how many breachers you got,
Yeah.
and how aggressive are you wanting to be with them?
Mhm.
Like you want to just put them up on the board and do that? Do you just want to sit there?
Mhm.
What do you have in reserve? How aggressive are people with Riptides? Because like most people just play Tau, and it's like, well, I'm going to be down this shooting lane, I'm going to
Yeah.
be down this shooting lane, but I'm not going to move. I'm going to be in my deployment zone because I can
Sure.
outrange you. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, that's great. Like if you're never going to move, and if you can shoot down this lane, my Scourge will jump out and see you and then
And
jump
shoot you.
back.
Yeah.
Or I know you're not going to move, so I can put my Tantalus right here
Mhm.
and force you to either come out or you die.
Mhm.
And so that's where I think you have to play. You can't just be conventional. I
Mhm.
think when you play Drukhari, you got to do some unconventional things because there's not a lot of armies that I think that can just sit back and be like, yeah, I'll just let them do whatever they want.
Mhm.
Then they just apart.
Yeah, like you have to play a proactive game.
Yeah.
That's a great point. One thing that I was thinking about was so I've taken a breacher unit out of my army right now. So I have two breacher units, and I picked up. And I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. I don't know how it affects our matchup. I don't think it's a big deal, but it's mostly for, I guess, like marine bodies and avoiding Overwatch. Basically, just avoiding one of the breacher's weaknesses. So I added a Dark Strider and a Pathfinder unit. So what they'll do is they scout 7 in the Devilfish, and then Dark Strider has +1 to wound. So they'll have the 9 Strength 8 AP2 for 2 shots. They'll hit on 4s if they're guided. Then they'll wound anything that's T7 or below on 2s with the +1 to wound. So you get Stealth Suits guiding. So you're basically just rerolling a wound roll. So you reroll once hit and wound. And then you get all the Strength 5 shots that'll be like wounding a Kronos on 4s. I don't. I think the unit's good. I still have to play around with it more, but at the very least, I like having one thing that I can push up early and shoot something and just not get flamed to death immediately, just like on site.
Yeah.
So I like that utility piece, and that's kind of why the flamers exist too. It's like another element that I could add to my army, like an Overwatch threat somewhere that I otherwise don't have. So I like that those give me flexibility. I think into Drukhari, it's probably just okay. I think the flamer unit is probably really good. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what I've been toying around with, like as far as like tech or like different things in my list that not a ton of other people are looking at right now.
Yeah, I really like the Flamer unit. I mean, you said you're playing Retaliation. I really like the Flamers in Retaliation.
Me too. They're
As
gnarly.
I mean, talking to Tom Moore, I was like, dude, what about like Farsight with Flamers?
Mm-hmm.
Because now you're what do you get up to? Strength 6, you're AP
Strength five.
2,
Strength five.
Strength 5, okay.
Yeah.
Strength 5, AP 2, but then +1 to wound.
Uh huh.
I mean, majority vehicles T9.
Yeah.
So you're wounding all these vehicles. You don't have to shoot. You're just going, here's a shitload of flamer shots,
Yeah.
wounding on 4s
Mm-hmm.
at AP2. Probably they ignore cover.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So how many 5-ups are you going to make?
Mm-hmm.
Not enough,
Yeah.
you know?
Sure.
And so you lose. And then it's like, well, are you going to charge me? I have Overwatch threat.
Yeah.
If I want to shoot and scoot, it's only one is it one CP?
Yeah. So it'd be 2 to 3 or 1 to 3 inch and then 1 to fire and fade, which is nice because the CP is awkward expenditure, so Farsight gives you one less at least. You could like wrap it for free and then do a fire and fade. You know what I mean? So there's some
Yeah.
more options. You have a little bit more flexibility with him.
Well, and even if putting them on the board, if you're gonna just pop out behind the building, hey, I'm gonna flame that on the objective, and then I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna come back? Okay, I'll just keep doing that every single turn,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
eventually maybe I'll just move up and go like, are you gonna get closer? Overwatch
Uh huh.
+1 to wound. Like it gets insane,
Yeah.
and then it's like, well, I don't need those on flamers this matchup because I'm playing I don't know Chaos Knights or
Yeah. Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that.
You could
I'll put it
rotate him
on
over.
missile suits.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll put them on missile suits, and then I'll have my flamers move 12 inches with like the enforcer or whatever
Sure.
that the other guy.
Just last night I was thinking about that. I was playing around with my list. I had the 3 Riptides. I didn't really love the 3 Riptides. I think it needs to be 2 personally. And it was add a Sunforge unit. so that I can have 2 Melta units and 2 Starsight units, so like 2 Burst Cannon units, and
Yeah.
then 3 Commanders. So like depending on the matchup, we have like usually it would be probably like if I was playing my brother yesterday, he's playing World Leaders, so it'd be like the 2 Starsights with Commanders, and then the 1 Sunforge unit with the Commander. And then I have like the
Yeah.
1 Sunforge unit just running around doing shenanigans, and then I could swap it around per the matchup, which I feel like gives a lot of flexibility retaliation that I think that it kind of needs, because the high toughness skews are still kind of rough, to be honest. If you just have the 1 Sunforge unit, you're just dropping them down. Like they kill one thing, and then the rest of the army is just like, okay, well we need to kill this ASAP because this is your
Yeah.
only legitimate anti-tank, basically. Um, so yeah, that's a great point. I think having some flexibility about like where to put the commanders, where to put the suits, like I think that'd be really good.
Well, it's nice too because like you just get like you get different buffs from each one. Like if
Uh-huh.
you are playing Farsight, it's like, oh man, what do I need to actually use to kill stuff?
Yeah.
Hey, what do I want to be faster?
Mhm.
You know, like that. What do I want with Assault? Like that kind of stuff. And
Mhm.
so I like that kind of when it comes to flexibility and things like that. Like I think that's the name of the game. Like you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
just roll out the same deployment. You
Sure.
can't roll
Yeah.
out the same stuff
Yeah.
every single game. And so having those options just makes you, I mean, that much better.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. 100%. One thing I'm really curious about, like, so over the last couple of weeks, I don't know how, like, if you pay attention to stuff like Meta Monday or like stat checks, win rates, and whatnot, but like Drukhari has been the
Yeah,
#1 army in the meta. So I'm
yeah,
curious, and I think there were people, I've been following some of the podcasts that follow WTC or whatnot, and there are like, I don't know how many Drukhari armies there are playing, but there's more than people expected. And like some of
yeah.
the top countries are bringing them. So I'm just curious, like, do you think that's kind of like a fluke? Like, like, I'd love to get your perspective on how Drukhari's been successful in the meta and like what they bring to the table that is allowing them to have such a high win rate. Or if it's just
Yeah, so
Cody
I mean,
Jiru
I
and
think
2 other people playing, and the win rate's 70% because of that.
well, so actually, like a few weeks ago, when they
Uh-huh.
when they ran it, and we had like a 68% win rate or something like that,
Uh-huh.
there was 7 players
Yeah. Okay.
that
Yeah.
were playing, and I'm like, well, shit, man, 7 players. These guys are just like we're just good
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now with
Yeah.
those 7
It's you,
people.
Scary, and
Uh,
5 other dudes.
yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like, but now, like I think our usage rate is above 3 now, three
Oh wow.
percent.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so like we're actually getting some more people on there.
Sure.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is one like we score secondaries. Like
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
gonna score points.
Sure.
Is the thing. And I think right now being able to just consistently score almost any secondary is just such a huge advantage.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
don't have to throw away, points not doing sabotage or
Mm-hmm.
not doing containment
Yep.
or something like that. Like we can there's no outside of recover assets, which I think is the worst.
Yeah.
Like we can do any secondary.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is like we kill stuff. Like
Pretty
I
good.
don't think the name of the game right now is like there's less Satans in the meta unless people are just bringing Satans.
Mm-hmm.
There's less Land Raiders in the meta
Yep.
unless you're really just trying to hyper focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
And so with the not having those big extreme big things that
Mm-hmm.
are hyper durable, what are people bringing more? Battle line units.
Mm-hmm.
We'll kill battle line units. Kill them in our sleep. Like so you're bringing more. It's like the last 2 tournaments I went to have been like battle line mission focused,
Oh wow.
and like some people think our like Drukhari battle line is really good. I'm like super anti witch. I think witches are awful. I think they're
Really?
bad. I
Yeah.
think we do what witches do, but better using other units.
Uh-huh.
Right? Lilith is awesome,
I was about
but
to
I
say.
don't need. I mean, I ran Lilith by herself. I don't need witches to make Lilith good.
Sure.
Um, Lilith needs to be with witches to make them good, which
Yeah.
is
So
not,
she
not the
doesn't.
best.
There's no buff that goes to Lilith at all. She gives him like extra AP. Is that it?
Well, she gets an extra point of strength, but are you putting her in not into infantry?
Yeah. Fair.
I mean, like if
Yeah.
you're putting her not into infantry, like we're having words,
Yeah. Sure.
Um,
Fair.
and like yeah, okay, there might be some stray cases, but if the difference between strength 3 and strength 4 is that big of a difference,
Uh huh.
then just run a different unit.
Yeah, fair.
But I think in the beginning, man, like you have people that are playing Drukhari that know how to play the army.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I don't think it's an army that you can just pick up, roll out of bed, and be like, "Bam, I played Drukhari. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
that good."
Totally.
You need the models, you need the tactics, you need to lose a lot
Mm-hmm.
to be
Fair.
able to play with them.
Yep.
Um, like, are they good? Yeah, right. Do they do a lot of damage? Yeah. And I think another big thing is because people like there's not a ton of people playing them,
Mm-hmm.
and so if you don't have a Drukhari person in your meta, and
Mm-hmm.
then like somebody shows up with them, and you're like, fuck, like I've heard about them, I can read their strats,
Mm-hmm.
but if you don't see it on the tabletop, like I can read it, but I need to
Experience it.
see,
I'm the same way.
yeah,
I need to
they,
get wrecked.
yep, and people are just like, damn, like yeah, you're a lot faster than I thought, or you do a lot more damage than I thought, or
Sure.
damn, those rerolls look really good. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you have somebody that's good with the army and you haven't played them, I think there's a big difference. And I think right now you have good players playing a good army, and you
Mm-hmm.
get good results.
Yeah. Fair.
And I mean, everybody going to GW tables too. There's natural staging areas. I think it's a more melee kind of addition
Mm-hmm.
with how table setups are,
Yeah.
and so at least majority of the setups.
Sure.
And so I think that plays into. There's a lot of things going Drukhari's way.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think at the end of September we'll have some points. Or some things will probably balance out a little bit, but
You
I
think
think
so?
you have good players playing a good army,
Mm-hmm.
and so you get good results.
Yeah. Checks out, man. Yeah. And I'm curious. Like the other thing I wanted to hear about was the specific list you've been running. Like, has it changed? I'm sure it has evolved at some point throughout Pariah Nexus, but the current list you're running and like, yeah, why? Like the why behind the units that you're bringing. So you have the Tantalus Accord, you have Lilith Solo. What else do you got on the list?
So the core of the list is 10 Ikibai,
Uh huh.
with ignore Overwatch. I don't make that guy my warlord,
Really?
because he's already not going to be Overwatched.
Okay, fair.
So I don't need other stuff to cost extra CP in his
Mm-hmm.
aura. I just don't want him to get Overwatch. And
Sure.
usually they get one and done. They
Yeah.
kill something majorly dead, and then they usually die.
Yeah.
And I'm a big proponent of the 10 Incubi. A lot of people are, oh, I want to run 3x5, I want to run
Mm-hmm.
2x5. The 10 just look at almost anything in the game that's not -1 damage, and they kill it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
The court with the Tantalus, big proponent of the Tantalus and the big court. A lot of people are trying to run the court on foot. I think the
Interesting.
sustain 2 strat just makes the court like freaking bonkers.
Yeah.
Like
Agreed.
it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And with all the rules like reroll hits, reroll wounds, -1 to wound, I throw the phantasmal smoke onto my Archon, so it gives the court when they hop out of the transport stealth and cover. So if you're shooting me with a bunch of like bullshit shots, right,
Yeah.
SMS, something like that, I have a 3-up save, I'm -1 to hit, and I'm -1 to wound.
Yeah.
And on a T3 body with a 3-up save, like that's pretty good,
That is pretty good,
you
dude.
know.
That's why I like,
Um,
dude. Breachers are kind of annoying. A lot of people will look at them and just having the -1 to wound, they're like, okay, yeah, this 3 heavy bolters will take these guys out, and then I have like 3 dudes left that are sitting on a point that they're not interacting with anymore. It's like, okay.
yeah,
So I can only
yeah,
imagine stacking stealth, a 3-up, and cover. Like, ooh.
yeah, 3-up. The 3-up is with cover, but I mean, like, still, like,
Oh
I don't.
yeah,
It doesn't matter,
for sure.
And it's just like, dude, when you turn, hey, you used to win me on 2s into 3s.
Yeah.
You see a lot more 2s that people roll,
You start to notice it. Yeah.
than normal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so it fights first too. So it's
Oh,
like,
no
dude,
way.
you want to come melee me? I fight first, dude.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yucky.
oh, is it just a bunch of little guys hitting me? Well, yeah, like, but they're all AP1, they're all lethal, they all reroll hits, they all reroll wounds. There's a couple dudes that do 2 damage in there.
Yeah.
I got some AP. Like, you can't just, they're not I'll just kill them.
Yeah, I'll deal with them later. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Because they if they can get back in the transport and then they can get back out to sustain 2,
No.
dude.
Can't let that happen.
Yeah, and you make so you charge with them, and then even if they don't kill what they charge, you
Uh-huh.
can still Wraithlight retreat back into the
Oh,
transport.
dude.
Right, that's the best part. Like, because you make a fallback move, and people are
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh, you're in engagement, you can't do that." I'm like, "Nah,
Yeah, that's
fallback
how it
move, bud."
works. Yeah.
And they move 8,
Ooh.
so I can be wholly within 11.
Yeah.
It's
And you don't wait, so
they
did you
are
know that
they're so
random, but did you know that you don't have to be wholly within to get in a transport? You just have to be within. So like your back, the last dude, he just has to be within the 3 inch.
your whole unit doesn't have to be within. You're lying to me right now.
I'm not lying to you. I swear to God.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Okay,
you just
well
have to
that would
be.
change
It's
everything.
just within. Yeah, yeah, within 3 of the transport to embark. I checked it recently. Yeah, so you get a little bit extra. You get like an extra inch out of it.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah,
Yeah. But so they're a staple, and the Tantalus is just it's oddly durable. T10, 18 wounds, has a 5-up natural invuln, but I can give it a 4.
oh yeah,
And people don't expect that kind of like durability.
sure.
And T10 is a huge breakpoint, with all your strength 9 stuff.
Yeah, strength
You
down.
know,
Yeah,
like
and I have a lot of T9 and T10 myself. Like NIDS became really weird for me lately because
yeah,
now it's
yeah.
like,
Actually, that's true.
yeah, they're all everything went to strength 10. You know, like it's I'm not a fan. Like they
Yeah.
instantly changed the damage on our matchup in the NIDS. Like they have basically 20% more damage into Tau, or like 30% more damage.
Well, and they went from what strength 5 to strength 6
Yeah, on a lot
on
of
warriors, and it's like, well, that's a great breakpoint. That's
yeah,
fantastic.
that's interesting.
All your T3 infantry now wounded on 2s, and
Yeah.
suits are now wounded on 3. Yeah, like it messes with it all.
Mm.
The other thing I've been really running a lot of is a Void Raven.
Yep. I've
Um,
seen those out and
so
about.
I love the Void Raven. 2-up saves. So people are thinking, oh, Drukhari, you got all these incubi. Like, it's cool, but
Yeah, armor
man, when you got
contempt
2-up
or
save and you got armor contempt, and then it's like, well, you got a 4-up save.
yeah.
Oof, like I don't want that. Void
Mm.
Raven, 12 shots, strength 8, AP 4 for 2.
AP4,
I'm
yeah.
gonna reroll all hits. Like it's just pick that up, pick that up.
What's the
It's
Mortals ability, by the way? Is it a flyover Mortals?
yeah, it's their bomb. The most I call it the most random thing in 40k. So it D6 rain, D6 inches. Does it explode?
Okay.
Okay. Then on a 4+, it actually does. It actually like the bomb goes off
Uh huh.
for each unit, and then it does D6 mortals.
Okay. But like you can't like rely on that. Obviously, it's just like a
No,
nice. It's
God,
just like a nice to have. You're like, oh, cool. Like it did like 5 mortals
yeah.
this time. Like sick.
Yeah, it'll pick up that one random character, or it'll like, oh yeah, man, look at these 6 units right here. I'm gonna try that. And it's like 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, it doesn't go off on any of them. That's cool.
Okay, sick.
And for some reason, a bomber only carries 1 bomb.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it
So what?
but the AP4 is great. The other thing I really like about it is because of melee being so huge,
Mm-hmm.
like you can only interact with flyers if you have fly.
Sure.
And so, if you're not a predominantly shooty unit, this thing just runs around and
Yeah.
just
Just
blows
wrecks
you,
you.
like just shoots you for 3-4 turns.
Yeah.
You don't get to interact with it.
Uh huh.
You know, like for Tau, like yeah, you can charge me, but your melee is not the best. You have to shoot it.
Mm-mm.
Some armies, like I played demons, and demons, like if you don't have a bloodthirster or a Lord of Change, you're not going to kill it.
Yeah.
Like
Get
you're not going to kill this thing.
Yeah.
And so like Blood Angels, you got to watch out for. But it's great. Like the flyer's great for move blocking. It's great for creating odd sequences, like in the Thunderwolf matchup.
Uh huh.
If it's the closest unit, you got an angry move towards the flyer
Oh
that you
shit.
can't charge.
Wait, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Yo, that is
So
funny.
you fly that thing next to it. It's like, well, first you can't charge it.
Uh-huh.
Second, I'm gonna shoot you. You want an angry move towards my flyer,
Angry
please.
move. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they can't, and they're not going to.
Sure.
And so
Wow.
it creates awkward things, and like the guns are just insane.
Sure.
Like, it's good.
So you know what's funny,
Um,
Cody, is someone mentioned to me, I think it might have been Tom, that you were looking at the some of the Tau flyers, like the one Tau flyer, it's the Razor Shark. So
yeah,
I was
and
like,
retaliation.
in retaliation, dude. So I was this close to like putting it in a Mont'ka list because, like, I mean, it hits on twos, right? It's got 8 strength, 8 AP2 for 2 shots, I believe, that are twin linked, and then it's got like 2 missile pod shots and 2 seekers. So the reason I didn't put it in the list, and I'm not saying it's bad, I think it could be really good, but
Yeah.
I was thinking about it in terms of like being good into Blood Angels because that's an issue I have, right? Like people staging 10 Death Company all over the map, you know, like just the 10-man flyer units, and I realize you only get +1 to hit if you're targeting non-fly,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
still like it's a good rule. Most of the army, like most of the world doesn't have fly, right? So it's still a great
Uh-huh.
rule, but I was like, damn, like I just envisioned in my head, I was like, man, I'm just gonna kill all these freaking Death Company from behind a ruin. Like with all my hitting on twos, like I could bump it to AP3 in Mont'ka. Like I got Seekers, like I got Lethals, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I still think like I don't know, man. In the right meta, like I don't think it's a bad unit. Like I think you could take it and do really well with it into most of the meta.
Well, and that's why I was thinking with retaliation, because you get the extra strength, you get the extra AP.
Oh, that's only
You,
that's only battle suits.
oh, okay, I lied.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, never mind. No,
That would be super sick. No, it's okay. But
excuse
like
me. All
you
right,
can't
never
you
mind.
can get the extra AP though, and like in Mont'ka, right? You can get it to AP3, just for a CP. So like, an assault is like, I mean, it's fine. Like obviously you're just moving 20 anyways. But I never considered like the move block shenanigans at all. I have not thought about
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. And I mean, dude, you throw that thing in a backfield, you'll kill the infiltrators or the scouts or whatever's back there,
Yeah.
and then they can't. Like, it's not going to score for you
Uh huh.
or anything like that. But if you want a jump pack unit to go back there and kill, like you're telling me 5 Death Company are going to go back and kill my flyer,
Yeah.
okay,
Sick.
you're taking them out of the game,
Yeah.
right? Like they're not going to make it back to the midfield before turn 5 is
Sure.
over.
Interesting.
And so there's some strategy in that
Yeah.
as well. I was running a couple Talos too.
Uh huh.
I love them because they kind of just do everything.
Yeah.
Um,
They
and
Overwatch, right?
like,
Can you run
yep.
the flamers? Is it flamers and the twin linked? Yeah.
And both guns are twin link. So 2 twin link
Whoa.
flamers
Whoa.
that are AP1, and then 2 haywire guns that are twin linked as well. And then if they kill something, which I mean, you just start mathing it out and try to get them to finish. They just stay empowered forever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I think there's something to say too, like, yeah, they don't directly benefit from anything. There's no strats.
Yeah.
There's nothing that they're gonna use in Skysplinter.
Mm-hmm.
But just having a unit where you don't have to use any strats on, and they
Yeah.
just can go and do their own thing, is kind of nice. Like, yeah, I'll throw a pain token on them, whatever. But I never have to use CP on them. I never have to worry about them. Like, if they die, somebody earned it.
Mm-hmm.
Usually,
Yeah.
they usually don't get one shotted and stuff like that. And so I dropped those for this tournament last weekend for another squad of Incubi because I could run the third Archon.
Mm-hmm.
But I did kind of miss the Haywire. Like, that's like Grey Knights are a terrible matchup for Drukhari
Really.
because of 2-up saves.
Mm.
And T8's weird. All the Dread Knights and the 4-up invulns.
Mm-hmm.
And Haywire just goes like, I can kill a Dread Knight.
Yeah, I don't even care.
I can shoot you and I can melee you and kill one. And then they're like awkwardly hard to kill
Yeah.
by Red Knights.
Yeah, they fit like a nice niche where it's like adding a lot of utility and like especially because you don't really have a ton of units that you could just kind of stick out on stuff. A, not care, and B, like there's still a chance that you just don't even pick them up. Like
Yeah.
worst case scenario, they're like holding primary behind a wall somewhere, or like they can do some of the annoying actions, right? Like the recover assets of the world, and it's like, okay, what are you gonna do? Like, I could auto advance a Riptide, 16 inches to peek behind a ruin to maybe kill a Talus into 93 points. It's like, is that really worth it? Like, I don't know. It have to be worth a lot of
And
points
if
for
you're
me.
peeking out, man, I can see you. So
Yeah, yeah.
and you're getting closer and stuff, and so that's why it's just nice.
So if
Wow.
you're empowered all the time, does that mean you get to reroll Overwatches too? Obviously, is that
So the reroll hits is
uh
only in your shooting phase.
got it? Okay.
But what I've been doing lately, actually
Hmm.
for a while,
Yeah.
is I'll empower the court unit when they're out in
Ooh.
your movement phase. Because so I don't get reroll hits.
Uh huh.
But when the unit's empowered, I get reroll wounds.
Oh, interesting.
So there's a couple flamers in there. So
Okay,
flamers, auto hit and then reroll wound, and they're strength
dude.
6. One of them has AP,
Okay,
and then all the splinter shots. If you get and then everything else is lethal. But rerolling 2 flamers, right? If you just need to kill something, is kind of nice. And people
dude.
kind of pause and go like, maybe I don't want to get overwatched by those.
I mean, dude, make me think a second time about putting a breach unit out. I'd be like, excuse me, where are the flamers in the unit, sir?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and 18-inch range is kind of good.
it's 18-inch range.
Yeah.
Yo, okay. So like, I can
Yeah.
barely. If you wanted to, you could make it so that it's impossible. Like, you could basically just put everyone within an 8-inch bubble for your units, and then I'm gonna have to put the breachers with
Yeah.
the flamers. So I'm only 10
And so
inches, so yeah.
it can mess with you too. So
Oof.
the last thing that I've been doing that I don't see a lot of people do, I'm running 3 single Chronos.
Uh huh.
And they are just like they're the action guys. I put one on my home objective, and then one usually will move up with either the Talos or the Incubi unit,
Uh
and
huh.
then I always will strat reserve one
Okay.
to do actions or to come in. Um, Usually, I'll try to if I know where my spot is going to be for the Tantalus, if I'm going
Mhm.
to deep strike it,
Yep.
like if I know like, oh, on this map it's like here and
Mhm.
that's where I want to go, then I'll
Mhm.
usually counter deploy the Incubi and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then that third Chronos will come in so I don't have to move up anything out of position. That one just comes in on the side and then it empowers and gives my aura to the Void Raven or to the Tantalus or to
Mhm.
the court that gets out.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, like when it's doing that, I'll go do containment, go recover assets. A lot of objectives are close enough to now in Pariah to just
Mhm.
walk onto 6
Mhm.
inches from the board,
Yep.
which is really nice.
Sure.
And so they do actions, and again, they're 50 points
Oh
for a
my gosh.
T7, 7 wound, 3
Whoa,
up, 6 up.
dude. What the
Yeah,
heck? I thought
yeah,
Piranha were super undercosted. That's ridiculous, dude.
yeah, dude. I know. And they come with a flamer too.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many my home objective Chronos, how many Caliduses they've killed. You know.
It's just like,
And so it's just
okay, here you go.
like for 50 points, I'll take 3 every time.
Yeah, that's super efficient. And one thing I did want to talk about is like the pain token economy. And obviously, like not giving away your secrets, but I would love to hear from your perspective because that's just something that like. So like I posted the video, the matchup video, and had someone comment and be like, "Man, like you got to be talking about the pain token economy, like being able to like recycle pain tokens, like just having a bunch of pain tokens obviously just supercharges the army. So like how to best interact with that, like at the end of the day, like it's the resource that you get to control. So like I would imagine the only few ways that we can interact with it is like killing Kronos and being like, all right, man, like. But is there any
Yeah.
other ways for us
It's,
to like reliably like get you to proc it, like a little
so
preemptive
for
strike, you know?
for Tau, I think it's kind of tough because if you're being aggressive, that means you're giving me units to kill
Yeah, yeah,
generally.
sure.
Uh, and so like for like I would say like a standard army like yours,
Hmm.
right? Is most armies are comprised pretty much the same, right? You
Yeah.
got 1 or 2 infiltrators, you got some tanks, you got stuff that's easy to kill, you got chaff
Hmm.
and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
When you have that kind of stuff, I'm not usually worried about pain tokens.
Hmm. Okay, fair.
Only because like I'm gonna kill your pathfinders when you infiltrate them with beasts,
Hmm.
and so I get a free pain token.
Yep.
Usually I'll use one to get one,
Hmm.
and so I stay at 3.
Hmm.
It's so for Drukhari, man, when I see 3 scourge units, it scares me because they like need pain
Hmm.
tokens to be
Sure.
good,
Yep.
right? Nobody, from Tau,
Yeah.
man, how reliable is hitting on 4s?
Yeah. Not at all.
Right. And so you
Not
got
at all.
4 heavy duty shots, man. Like I know I've missed 4 shots,
Yeah.
hitting on 4s
Yeah. Hell
and
yeah.
needed the rerolls. And if you don't get any of those back, so one, people run 1 Chronos typically for Drukhari, which means you got 1 9-inch bubble.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that means none of your units that are forward are getting in that bubble, and you're just using pain tokens.
Hmm.
Second, you're relying on a 4 plus to get a pain token back for those scourge.
Sure.
And dude, like we've rolled plenty of 4 ups and never gotten them.
Yeah.
And so having the Chronos auras help a lot.
Hmm.
But with typical armies with infiltrators, I'll get pain tokens with beast packs early. I'll get, and this comes back to I like to kill things that I know I can kill,
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure I can get those pain tokens.
Yep.
I'll pain token 5-inch charges so I don't have to use CP.
Mm.
Just to, hey man, I failed plenty of 5-inch charges in my life.
Sure.
And so like sometimes I'll be up to 7 and I'll use 4 or 5 of them in one turn, not have any of them back, go down to 2. And so I think it's really, I don't think you have to be afraid of using them.
Mm-hmm.
Per se. Knocking Kronos out helps, but knocking Kronos out, I think, takes too much effort and
Sure.
too many resources
Yeah.
away from like your army specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it hurts me long run.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you go, oh, man, like I think my Riptide can kill one Kronos,
Yeah.
and that's your shot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a bad shot.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
don't
and
get
I'm
me
giving
wrong.
you a Riptide though, like for a 50-point
Yeah,
unit.
I just mean
I'm giving you an
like
open.
it's just
Yeah.
yeah. And so it's deciding those things. Like I like putting Kronos out and going, hey, you want to kill that thing?
Yeah, have fun.
And then people find out how tough it is, and they're like, man, that's really awkward.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're like, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna shoot, my Lancer at it. Yeah, fuck yeah, you are. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna hit a 6-up invuln, dog, and then you're screwed.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That happens. Or I'll make 4 of 6, feel no pains.
Yeah,
and be
you're
like, hey,
like,
thanks for the.
cool.
I still got 3 wins.
Yeah, I'm not even taking a battle shot. Get wrecked.
Yep. And so it's just putting you in spots like, and I think that's the biggest thing of like, it's no win for you.
Yeah.
Like you may think like, hey, I'm killing this Kronos or I'm
Mhm.
taking this out. It's like, yeah, man, I want you to do that because
Mhm.
you're exposing yourself. You're giving me pain tokens,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. The pain token economy gets really rough in Grey Knights. It's
Okay.
really rough because they don't have chaff. Like
Mhm.
it beasts don't kill a 5-man strike squad when they AOC on you.
For sure. Yeah.
They don't have the scouts. They're never going to give you the Voidsman turn 1.
Mhm.
You should never be able to shoot a Dread Knight turn 1.
Mhm.
And so you really got to be like on your game with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So that's like the meta
Um,
boogeyman right now for Drukhari, you would say.
I think so.
Mhm.
Yeah, a good Grey Knight player. And honestly, it's not even the Dread Knights. Like if you run 4 Dread Knights and then you got like a Drago Terminator unit, or you just got a bunch of 2-up save dudes. I
Yep.
think that's rough. Yeah, I would say that's probably like number 1,
Mhm.
honestly.
Yeah.
I'd like to play New Tau, in Pariah and see what that's like. There's like matchups that's like I don't necessarily want to play.
Sure.
Like if somebody's like, hey man, you want to play New Town? I'm like, nah, I'd rather go play Orc.
Well, here's the thing, Cody, is I think that similar to like our games, the 2 games that we played, right? We played one game, we had a really close game, and then the second one, I felt like you learned a lot from the first match, and you kind of depths me, right?
Went first though, that was big.
That was big. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that was big. But I think Mont'ka would be similar, right? Because I do think that you're right. There is like a very like there's a rubric for how to build a Mont'ka Tellus right now. There with not a lot of variation. So I think once you get a couple matches, like 2 or 3 matches into it, I think that you'd be able to find your footing and know like what your win conditions are very quickly. The one that I'm curious about, I mean, it's just another version of 2-up save with armor contempt, but like Gladius Dark Angels. Like, have you ran into that?
Yeah.
It's probably another one because the -1 damage too is yucky, dude. Like,
So yeah, Deathwing Knights are like the bane of my existence too. Like,
sure. Yeah.
I mean, 4 wounds, T5, -1
I
damage.
hate him too, man. Like, who's got like? This is the first time I've been wishing Riptides were damage 5. This is like the first time I've pointed at an elite infantry and been like, oh man, it takes like 2 to kill this thing. It's so annoying.
And it hurt. You know how much it hurts my soul to need a 3+ on a Darklands to kill one?
Oh yeah, dude.
Because you're gonna roll a 2, and then it's like, I'm at 1 wound. Oh, I'll eat your other Darklands. Thanks.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I've played into 2 units of them, but never a third one.
Ooh.
And 2 units.
It's coming.
Just like,
It's coming.
yeah, no, I know, man. and like what I did is I combo charged I used Lilith first and activated her to kill the character,
Oh, okay.
and then activated the incubi.
Uh huh.
Um
Is the character where the
not
-1 damage comes from? or is that?
No, but it was because usually, so this is, it's funny. So Incubi usually can kill like the not kill the entire Deathwing Knight unit,
Mm-hmm.
but they can kill enough of them. But Space Marine characters have so many attacks and they're
Mm-hmm.
so good and they're
Yep.
so efficient. So getting those guys into the Incubi when they're still alive,
Yep.
it just screws up the math.
Okay. Yeah.
And then not having to worry about whatever that character does. So if it's Azrael,
Yeah.
no 4-up invuln,
Sure.
on like the inner
Hellblasters
circle.
or inner circle. Yep.
Yeah. And like I played 3. So this Dark Angel guy I played last weekend, he had 3 inner circle squads.
Oh shit.
Only one of them could get the invuln from Azzy, and the
Mm-hmm.
other 2 had chaplains.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, well, those 2 are just like Incubi fodder all day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to really concentrate on a 4-up invuln.
Yeah.
But Deathwing Knight's like, dude, I don't.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. It's not like it's oh man, I really wanna do this, and
Mm-hmm.
let's
Yeah. It's
let's,
like,
let's boogie it.
how do I
That's
make this
let's
as
kill
painless?
everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's kill everything else, and then see what these little slow guys can do.
Uh huh.
Um, Hopefully the mission is good, because usually when I'm seeing it's what 3 Deathwing Knights, it's Azzy with Inner Circle,
Mm-hmm.
And then what, like maybe a Redemptor or 2,
Yeah.
or
Couple
Redemptor or 2, or
couple
just Redemptors.
scout units. I've seen people running a combination of like a repulsor plus sometimes they'll put Azzy with the Hellblasters and the lieutenants. So
Yeah,
they still get the sustained 5s, or it's an Eradicator unit. So it's usually like one hammer shooting unit, the 3 Deathwing Knights, and then just like sprinkle in your inner circle, your assault intercessors, maybe a Calidus if you're feeling spicy, like stuff like that.
yeah,
I've only played one game into it, and it definitely seems really spooky. I will say Retaliation seems really good into it. Like the Starscythe units, they really
Mhm.
like. They're really okay with shooting into Deathwing Knights. Breachers are totally chill. They're just like, okay, cool. Like, we'll stack the AP. You'll be on 3-ups, but I'll still kill 3 Deathwing Knights, and then the Riptide will clean up the rest. Um, so anything though with advance and charge, I just hate. Right? Like, and
Yeah,
maybe I should practice like being okay putting a Riptide within a threat range. But I'm just like, we're pre-measuring this. I'm out. I'm 24.1 away. Like, we're not even. I've given people
so
11s before, and they're like,
yeah,
"Oh yeah, I'm a carnivore. I reroll charges, so and I'm behind this wall, and I don't have to spend CP unless I hit it. So I'm just gonna roll 2. I'm just gonna take 2 shots at 11." And I'm like, "This is my nightmare. Like, you getting to take 2 shots at 11 with no repercussions."
yeah. What I like, so I've been giving people 10s
Really?
sometimes. So just to try to make it awkward, yeah, man, like I'll leave the Raider here. So if you want to charge it within 10, like you can do that.
Uh,
And even if it's free, because like losing the Raider will suck, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I don't want
sure.
to. But if you have to expose yourself to get the 10 and you can't like go back, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
because like a 9, no, like I've banged out enough 9-inch charges to know like that's too good of a 10.
Yeah.
But a 10-inch, like, man, dude, like if I don't see a 5 or 6 on one dice, like we're good,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Sure.
And so I've been trying to like just chance it and give them something, because
Uh huh.
if they just sit on objectives, man, like it's so hard to pull them off, and then
Yeah.
they kill anything that's on the
Yeah.
objective.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the 2-up save -1 damage is
Just a rough combo.
it's so good,
At
dude.
least
If
they
you
don't
don't,
have like a feel no pain or something. Like, I forget who was. I don't know. Some people in the 40k community have been mentioning how for up feel no pain should just just get the hell out of here. And like, I just agree. Like,
yeah,
it's just silly town. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I mean, sure, on chaos spawn, fine, you can have your 4 feel no pain, but like, other stuff, like, come on, what are we doing?
right, on one model you can have a 4-up feel no pain.
Yeah,
You can
in
take
your
an
army.
enhancement that gives your one guy a 4-up feel no pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as he's like 5 wounds or less and T3.
Yeah.
Like give him a 5-up invuln. Okay, cool. Like that's fine.
Sure. I can even
But
say the
yeah,
same
it's
thing
great.
about 4 up invulns too. Like, they're just too many, man. Like, in the meta, it feels like everybody's got it, and like, I I just hate like running into a matchup where you're like, all right, well, it's Riptides versus Grey Knight, Dread Knights. Who's gonna hit more
Yeah,
4 up invulns?
right. And one of you will hit 80% and one will hit 20,
And
and
then I'll
that's the
just
game.
yeah, exactly.
Because And I swear, I think my opponents hit 80 more often than the 20, man. Like, Flora Binvold's never been my friend.
Yeah, no. That's why you gotta take more of those liquefier guns, man. The freaking haywires.
Oh yeah, Haywires. Yeah, Haywire guns.
Is
That's
that
what I
what they're
need,
called?
dude.
Are they called liquefier guns, or am I mixing the
So
two up?
liquefiers are the flamers,
Oh, okay,
and then
yeah.
they're just called Haywire blasters. They're
Haywire
real
blasters.
original.
How many shots is it for the Talos? Is it? Do they
So
just?
the squad of two, so each Haywire blaster is 2 shots
Okay.
twin linked.
Okay. All right.
So 4 shots total that are twin linked.
Yeah. So it's not oppressive, but reroll hits, reroll wounds. Like, I mean, that's
Hit on
12.
fours.
Yeah, it's like all right.
Smoke sucks against
Yeah.
Drukhari. Like if you got a chance with smoke, like smoke making Scourge hit on fives, making Talos hit on fives. That sucks.
Tau has one
But yeah,
instance of smoke, and which is just like the biggest waste of text that they've ever put on a data sheet. It's the Ghost Kill has smoke, and if you lone op that has stealth already.
yeah.
If you pop or if you fall back and shoot, you lose the ability to use the smoke anymore. So when you fall back and
Oh,
shoot, be careful. You're gonna lose smoke.
you lose that thing that you already have -1 to hit on,
Yeah,
and
it's just
just
like,
go up.
what are we doing? What are we doing here? Like someone was like, all right, Tau needs one instance of smoke somewhere.
Hey, man, hey, at least you got smoke. I don't even have it.
Yeah, that's fair. It's weird. The Xenos armies, like sometimes you just don't get stuff. Like
Yeah, well, and then we have like random stuff with random keywords, like
yeah,
just the randomest stuff, like with that has grenades,
yeah,
or just the most random keywords. Like, why does this have this? Whatever.
yeah. It's weird, man. Like we just got the -1 CP thing from Farsight. Thank God. Made me so happy. Do you guys have an instance of that?
No,
Like you? Yeah,
we
no.
don't. We can't gain any CP. We only make other people minus or an extra CP, cost an
Sure.
extra one.
Yeah, which isn't bad. Like that is really nice to have those auras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think. Trust me, dude. I don't think that tournament necessarily should have ruled that way.
I was about to say
But if they're going
that was
to,
a
I'm
hot
gonna,
take. Oh yeah, of course.
yeah.
We're playing
Well, and it
competitive
was
40K,
weird.
man. Like
Yeah.
you take what they
I
give
paid.
you.
Hey, man, I paid $65. I'm gonna use all my tools.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It was weird though because they changed the pivot rule before pivoting got changed,
Uh huh.
but then they allowed the auras. I was like, wait, so you allowed one instance of raw, and then you changed the
The
pivot
other
rule
one, yeah.
to.
What are we doing here?
Man, that
Everybody
doesn't
runs things
affect.
differently, but
Yeah, it doesn't affect like the Tantalus, right? The pivot rule, like I moved 16 with that thing,
uh
and because you do it from where the base is, the front end of it sticks like the base is towards the back. So the -2 inches, like I'm still gaining like 4.
yeah, I was about to say. So have you been banging out deep strike charges? Are you that guy?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
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 I'd expect
Well,
nothing
and
less.
it's awkward to turn it. It's awkward to turn it,
Fair.
but like, like
Five,
it's not
sixes.
gonna fight its way out of combat. But when it has its own tank shock, and
Yeah.
now I can tank shock with 10 dice instead of
Yeah.
8,
That's what I'm saying.
that makes
Like
me want.
if you skew down into something that you really need to kill, like a vehicle, you're like, all right, screw it. I'll hit a 5. And he's got
Yeah.
decent melee, right? And then he has that you have the mortals thing, and then you can stack the mortals. Like
Yeah.
it ain't bad. And also, it's a giant
Yeah.
model in your face that's move blocking your deployment zone, probably. Like
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. And I'll just get back in it.
Ew.
That's the thing, man. Like it's so the Tantalus is insane, man. And everyone's like, oh man, it's gonna get legend. I was like, no, dude, they're keeping the big vehicles around.
Dude, I hope so, man. I started playing like maybe like 2011. Like I only played for like maybe 3 or 4 years. I started out with like Middle Earth, like the Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
miniature game,
Uh-huh.
and I played a little bit of. I just remember being a kid, like I was 12 or 13, being like, "Damn, like Forgeworld is so sick." Like they had like the separate website, and I remember looking at all the tile vehicles. I'm like, "Shit!" Like here, I'll show you. I was like 2 days from running this bad boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I picked him
Yeah.
up like 6 months ago or something, and I didn't realize that you just couldn't play him. Like I didn't realize there was like you can't activate for a turn, and I was like, what a freaking waste of money. Like
Right.
buying this freaking Tiger Shark was. So I didn't even build it, but yeah, a couple months ago. But I did
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
I got one RTT in with it, and it was one shot Angron. I played Drukhari. It killed 2 transports in an activation. I was just like, this is
Oh,
disgusting.
just 2?
Yeah, just two. I didn't feel I wasn't feeling spicy. I didn't want to split fire into like 3 or 4, but
A nice Tau player, geez. I didn't think those
yeah.
things were
Well,
synonymous with each other.
I got Trenton printed me a second one. And I was ready for the GT. I was ready, and it would have done so well. I don't know what it is around here, but like, we have like a little more dense terrain now.
Yeah.
Our GW terrain, and dude, people just like the meta was so high toughness. Like there was like 4 demons players running all demons. Like one guy was like a bunch of keeper of secrets. Like it was just way tankier than I expected. And man,
Yeah.
Tiger Shark would have loved that. They changed it like 2 days before the event. I was like, God dang it.
I'd show you my Reapers. I have 3 Forgeworld Reapers all painted up. Those are gone.
Are they? Yeah, damn. Wait,
Yeah.
let me see if I haven't. I don't know if I've seen that model. Do you got them?
Let me see. Excuse my dog.
Oh, that's okay. You see mine running around here.
So they're just a Raider kit.
Uh huh.
But they got like cool sails, and then they got like a big ass prow.
Oh,
So I guess they got
sick.
3 of these guys
Dude, hell
right
yeah.
here. Yeah, so I mean they're cool. They used to have like a blast shot, and then their difference of Ravager was they could shoot D6 lances instead of just
What
3
the hell?
shots. So it's like, oh man, do I want to casino this thing out? There was a time where you ran 3 Ravagers and 3 of those things, and you're like, I just kill all the tanks.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just like
and then
the
the prow
Drukhari
in the front.
Vindicator. Oh, you could hit somebody with that thing?
Oh yeah, dude! It actually had melee.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Thank God they legend that shit. I don't want that in your hands.
yeah,
man.
yeah. I know, yeah.
No.
And then I have it's in a trunk. It'd take me a while to get out, but
Yeah,
they
you're
have
good.
like these little batwing flyers.
Okay.
They always suck, but I had some of those. But those are legend now too.
Dude, it's a shame. There's so much like cool, yeah, especially for Xenos. Like they have like a lot of really cool. I mean, obviously Marines has all the best shit, but
Yeah,
I wonder what they're gonna do with like the other centerpiece models. Like hopefully we get to keep some of the good stuff like the Taunar and like, the Tantalus. But I hope they like
Yeah.
replace some of that stuff, like with plastic kits and like stuff that's gonna stick around a little longer, because that's part of the coolness of the hobby to me is like those dope ass models that like once a year your local gaming store has like an apocalypse game and you're like, okay, I'm gonna be a casual for a day because I want to shoot this like 12 damage multi-shot gun like at whatever I see.
yeah, yeah. I want to bring my Phantom Titan, and this thing's awful, but yeah, it's fucking Titan.
Dude, sick. Yeah.
You know,
Fuck it.
and yeah, man, I'm hoping like we have. I mean, I think only Votan has less data sheets than Drukhari does,
Really?
and so it's like, dude,
I didn't
I
realize
think so,
that.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think we only have like 21, maybe 23,
Oh
and
shit.
a third of them are characters.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so it's like, man, dude, like if you took the Tantalus out, and then there's rumors because they don't make the Beast Pack anymore, they don't
Yeah.
make the Cord anymore.
Oh.
If they legend those things, those would be great just kill teams.
Uh huh. Yeah.
So,
Come on, GW.
Yep.
Listen
Yeah, I
up.
know, shit, dude. Like you're telling me you couldn't make like a legit looking Court of the Archon for kill team,
Yeah.
or a Beast Pack for kill team? Like that would be sick.
That would be sick.
And then quit having us, have to 3D print and proxy all these different models. Like we can just buy the kill teams. Like the new Mandrakes, like tell me those things don't look just sick.
They do. They do look super sick.
You know,
Yeah.
like all the kill team stuff is awesome. And so just give us new kill teams. Like
Yeah.
I don't play
screw
kill
it.
teams, but I love the models.
Yeah, absolutely. Apparently, we got some Vespid coming in, which will be pretty cool. I got like, man, these guys. I got them right next to me, but like the amount of times I've broken these guys, these little resin dudes, off of the like this part of their knees, like it's a damn shame.
Yeah, and they're still like the original pose, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
they're
Just
yeah.
sir, yes, sir.
Yeah. You mean the warp spiders and
Yes.
every single thing from
Yeah.
third when all the shoulders are
Uh
like this.
huh.
They're shooting from the hip, everything.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah, I'm hoping, man, and I'm hoping that I don't know, like did they debunk that rumor of the codexes coming out? That's not
I
real.
think so. I haven't looked into it. I just saw like it popped out, and then I saw a bunch of people being like, "Yeah, this is definitely fake."
I hope so.
When was
Yeah, I didn't see
Drukhari's?
Drukhari out.
When were they in the cycle last year?
Oh,
Like, were they like year 2, year 3? Because I feel like they kind of
I
came.
want to say 2.
Okay.
I want to say year two, because yeah, they had their time in the sun for a little bit.
Mm,
Uh, Actually, probably for like 6 months
yeah.
when they had like Thick City and stuff like that. So that was nice. So they had that, and they were running rampant for a little bit. But most of the time, like Drukhari, like that's the other thing, like people don't not only play against them, but they also don't ever think that they're good.
Yeah. It's just
So
weird, dude.
that's what I was like.
It's weird. Good players who play them, turns out, get good results.
I know, I know,
Surprise,
I
surprise.
know, dude.
Um, I so I'm curious, like, because the edition seems like it's doing really well. Like, I'm
Yeah,
curious if GW, whatever, and here's like a drawback of 40k in my opinion. Like, I remember I just started playing 40k again at the end of ninth, and like Guard came out with this like absurd codex, and like they had it for like half of Arcs of Omen, like a month and a half
yeah.
where they were just like blowing people off the board, just like left and right, and then like boom, new edition, you're back in an index. Like, I'm almost curious, like if because it's so balanced so well, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like maybe GW extends the edition a little bit longer than previous. And I
I
listen,
mean,
I don't know, but like
like
I don't.
I like it, dude. I mean, with their release schedule and stuff, and like their ability to just fix rules and how fast they are, like, what are they going to? My thing is like, what are they going to change that's so fundamentally different
Yeah,
that would warrant an 11th edition?
yeah. I think it's just like a business decision thing where it's like with each new codex, right? They get to release new models. There's new hype. More people buy. You know what I mean? It gets more people in. Where if
Yeah,
they once they run out of codexes to release, it's kind of like okay, start the cash cow again. You know what I mean? As opposed to like,
yeah.
so I feel like that's the biggest reason. But to your point, like practicality wise, it's like guys, we're in a really good spot. Just like do what you did with Pariah, right? Add new content, adjust the game a little bit, like change the flavor, make people consider different list building decisions, stuff like that.
Well, and what would just fix their whole philosophy is just, dude, give me a subscription service so I don't even have to buy a codex, dude. I'd pay. Tell me we wouldn't pay 15-20 bucks a month to have access to all the codexes for the whole year.
I
Like,
probably more to be honest
you know
with
what
you.
I mean? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
I don't even buy codexes I don't play.
yeah. I don't either.
You know, like I'm not gonna buy the Space Marine one.
I have just
You
10.
know, yep. I'll buy Eldar, I'll buy Drukhari, and that's it. And you'll
Hmm.
get 120 bucks out of me, but you can double that if you make it a $20 a month
Yeah.
and you access everything. And then you don't have to worry about, man, we need the cash cow.
Hmm.
Right? You don't think people are going to still buy models?
Yeah.
I'll still buy my own codex because I like to read the same lore out
Exactly.
of my
Yeah.
book every single time.
Yeah.
I want to see the old art mixed with the new art.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll
Totally.
buy it just because like I'm the fanboy
Yeah.
like that. Um, and so like that would change it. And I guess for them, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Because if they just keep rolling out editions and they're gonna keep making money, why not?
Well, we'll see what happens now. That, like the tournament circuit's getting more and more popular. Like, it seems like, I mean, you tell me. Like, you've been around much longer than I have in the tournament circuit, but like, it seems like it's pretty bona fide at this point. Like, you could go anywhere in the country, and within an hour or two, you could get like 2, 3, 4 GTs a year in. Um, so it's interesting to see like GW kind of like they seem to be like rallying to the competitive community. You know, like
Yeah,
where
I
we
mean,
know that they're the most of their player base, like probably most of the money that they make, it's probably not the competitive community. You know, it's probably the people who play casually, people who play in garages, they're playing with their younger brothers, stuff like that. So it's interesting.
yeah, I think it's more popular than ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I know growing up it was like, oh man, like I'm gonna go to this tournament that's 4 hours away. Oh, how many people are gonna be there? 25.
Hmm.
Wow, man, 25 people, that's a lot. Like
Sure.
people are like they'd go crazy over it. And now you can go to your local game store and there's 25 people playing on, Warhammer Wednesdays,
Hmm. Yeah.
or something like that, or a shit Fight Club. You guys
Yeah.
got 30, 40 people playing,
Hmm.
every Tuesday and every Sunday.
Yeah.
And so I think, man, like I think we just I think they're doing a great job. Like, I mean, I remember editions that would last 4 years and you wouldn't get any updates to anything,
Hmm.
And so I think they're doing a good job. and I think honestly, like we're lucky with the exposure that we get with
Mm,
people like Joe to stream stuff,
dude, he's the man.
having a ton of yeah, dude, having content creators like you
Oh,
and a bunch
thanks.
of other people like putting out videos and stuff. And I think like generally the community is just like it's helpful
Yeah,
too. Like like you mess up something, you have a question, people usually answer it.
yeah,
So I think that's good, and I think it's easy for us to complain about things that, like, oh man, like this ruling sucks.
mm,
No, we're just gonna roll with it.
yeah,
Oh man, my codex isn't very good. Oh man, like what are you gonna do? Not play it? No, you're gonna play it. Like be the guy that like fixes it or
sure,
finds the niche in there.
yeah,
Like and so I just think like I don't think there's a bad army right now in 40K.
agreed,
GSC gets a bad rap, but I'm like kind of scared of good GSC players
dude. Tucker,
because I don't play GSC.
you know
Yeah,
Tucker, right?
yeah,
Dude, Tucker with new GSC, he put a list together with the bikes. So I don't know if you know about the bikes, but they do like the mortals when they get close. It's
yeah.
like, anyways, he found a list that he's won 20 games straight with it, and he's played like multiple 5-1 GT players, like guys who've won tournaments, just dumpstered him. He took him to ATC. He was playing in the 5-man, not the 8-man team tournament at
Yeah.
ATC. He was I think third overall in the 5-man pool, so it was like 100 players or something like that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I agree. I think they're really spooky. Like Tucker makes them look like unbeatable. Like you should see everyone playing Tucker, and they're like, "Dude, this book is broken." Like,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And meanwhile, you got like Art of War, like they're reviewing Sisters next to GSC, and they're like, GSC's dog shit. Like, it's like, well, you're
Yeah.
looking at the most busted army in the game right next to him. Like, clearly it doesn't look as good, but like, I
Yeah,
don't
man.
know,
And
man.
those Art of War guys said they were laughing at Drukhari being good.
Dude, I know. Yeah,
They were on one of their podcasts. They're like, "Oh yeah, they're." Oh,
the
I think it
yeah,
was it Harpster and
I think John
what's
Lennon too. I
yeah.
Dude, they were talking about
Oh,
their.
Siegler.
It
It's
was
Siegler,
Siegler.
and they're just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, they're okay. Like I don't think.
I was listening
Like
to like StatCheck, and Anthony Villa was talking about the Team USA list and whatnot. And I mean, listen, I tended to agree with them. I was really surprised to see Drukhari beat super well, like do super well in the meta.
yeah,
But they made it just sound really simple. They're just like, yeah, just like kill the transports. I'm like, well, I don't know, man. Like, have you played against like a good Drukhari player lately? Like, I feel like,
yeah. If it was that simple, how come more people aren't doing that?
yeah. And how if it's that simple, like, why is Drukhari doing so well lately? Like, you know,
Yeah, from what I've heard from people is like on the team events and stuff, they say that the Drukhari they don't do anything that another army couldn't do better.
okay,
If they win hard, but if they lose, they tend to lose hard.
sure,
And I'm like, yeah, if I was on a team though and they said, hey, Cody, we don't want you to play Drukhari, I'd be like,
yeah, screw that.
I think that's like my army. That's like my niche.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they're not going to tell Vanilla not to play
World Eaters.
World Eaters.
Yeah, for sure.
Why? That dude's fucking. He like made him.
Yeah,
He's like the World Eaters guy.
100%. And I think like I mean, maybe at your level of tournaments, maybe it's different. But like, I'm going to a team tournament, and that's kind of my thought process. Is like, we could like tech into the meta, but like, I'm trying to have fun. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Troy, he's playing. He was deciding between like Nids and Eldar, and he was just like, I'm not like really feeling Nids. Like he's used to running the like triple rep X, like the busted Iron Storm shit. So he's just like, yeah, I just want to like run max damage and like overwatch people with avatars and like just like be like, all right, here, this is like D3 plus whatever 6 melt to dev wounds, like suck it. I'm like, hell
yeah.
yeah, like if you want to play that, dude, that's I don't want you to be like, oh, I have to play Nids right now, like screw that. No,
Right.
play what you want to play. Play
Well,
what
and
you
I
think's
think for
cool,
the
like
team thing, yeah, for the team thing, like if your guys' goal is to like, man, we want to win,
yeah,
then like I think everybody's mindset would have to be that, and then
yeah,
you like start forming the team and
yeah,
doing that. But if you're just like, hey, like we want to win, like winning's cool, like obviously it's way more fun to win than lose.
yeah,
But we also like, I don't want to put you in a bad spot and be like, no, John, like you're gonna play Chaos Space Marines, and you're like,
yeah,
I've never played those before,
yeah, no,
like. Like you would go there not having fun and not wanting to go in the first place. And
exactly.
so I think you want to just like, hey, what does everybody want to play? And if when two people want to run Space Marines, it's like, well, what else can you guys each play?
Yeah, exactly. Which makes things,
Yeah.
yeah. which is tough. That is the tough part about team tournaments. Is like a lot. Obviously, there are a lot of Space Marine players, but yeah, like if you're not having fun, like, well, dude, it is a hobby at the end of the day. Like we like to take it seriously. I like to take Warhammer seriously. I think it makes it real fun. But at the end of the day, like it also, at the same time, ain't that serious.
No, and it's serious to the point of like, and dude, like I dedicate too much time and too much money to it. So I want, like, if I'm going to a tournament, I don't want to be cheated. I don't like all that kind of stuff.
Oh, for sure.
But at the end of the day, like, yeah, man, like I do this to have fun. Like this is my release from work.
Sure.
Right? Like this is not work. This is me rolling dice, laughing with people.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And like doing a podcast and shit, and like and having fun, man. Like this is what I do on a Saturday at 11:40 a.m.
Sure.
Because I like it.
Yeah.
You know,
if
I didn't enjoy it, I would have been like, nah, John, I ain't getting on there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know?
Yeah, of course.
You know, like this is just fun, man. Like this is just like what I do and what you do and stuff. You know, other people got other hobbies. This is mine, man. And I want to have fun, and you know, and I've lost plenty of games, man. Like and win or lose, like winning's always more fun than losing, but dude, like just going, meeting people, like I've met so many good friends through 40K, you know.
Me too, man.
And so it's just cool, dude. Like, you know, it's just fun, and that's when it comes down to it. Like, are you having fun? And if you're not, take a break, man.
Yeah,
relax.
Which is the easy part. Like that's the fun part. Is I've tested my limits of 40K before. Where like when Pariah came out, I think I probably played like 12 games in a week, and I was like, okay. I was like, okay, 12 games, that's my limit. That's where I like stop. Like the amount of fun I have playing 40K just diminishes just a little bit. So now we're back to like, you know, playing every other day, and I'm having a great time. Like I love it.
Yeah, dude, I went back to back GTs these last 2 weekends, and now I'm like 40K'd out in the sense of like, dude, I haven't even asked for a pickup game. I like looking at my models, and I'm like trying to find something to hobby. But it's like my back and my knees are like feeling better finally.
Hell yeah.
You know, because dude, that is the worst. I mean, you're a big guy too, man, and you're tall. Yeah. And it's like, dude, leaning over these small tables.
It is rough. For 9 hours, dude. Yeah. It'll get you. My knees lock up, man. My knees, like, it feels like they just literally fuse together. Like, it's just like one. Yep. And I'm not going to be the guy who sits down. No offense to people who sit down, but I'm not a sit-down 40K player.
Yeah. I like to get in the action, dude.
I like getting my hands on the tables, you know? Like, leaning over. Like, so I can make sure I can
see. PTS is hard for me, man.
Really?
I tried it when it first came out, and it's just, like... I like feeling dice. I like moving models, and I like. Trust me, like I understand. Like it's a great tool and stuff like that. I need to re-download it and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just like, man, if somebody said, "Dude, you want to play a game 40K or play TTS?" Dude, I play a game 40K any day of the week, dude.
For sure.
And I need to play probably more TTS.
Yeah. No, it's nice. Like for me, the nicest part about it is like I have a twin brother who lives in San Francisco. He likes playing 40K too, so we get to play together. You know, stuff like that. Or like if we wanted to get a game, right? Like it would be nice to get a game against you sometime. Like I don't know when you're coming. When are you coming back? Are you coming? Like, do you have any plans like for RMO maybe or GT here and there?
If the October one was like a week, if the October GT was a week later, I'd be able to make it. Yeah, because football season's over by then.
Oh shit, yeah.
But I'll go to because there'll be one in December before LVO.
I think January. Yeah, probably. Yeah, December January. I think it's January. Last year they did January. Okay, word. Yeah, and then you'll be at LVO. I'll go to that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I already got my ticket.
Yeah, me too. Year one. Yeah, it'll be sick.
I don't get to go. I don't want to be top 10 again, man. I want to like actually play in the top 8.
Dude, how many times have you been on Joe's stream, by the way?
Oh shit, a lot.
Like we're talking double digits. I mean, I've seen you on Joe's stream 3 times. Like and like I don't know, I've been paying attention to 40K for a year, so.
I've probably been on a stream 12 to 15 times.
Holy shit, yeah.
Yeah, the curse has always been the second time I'm on his stream. I always lose.
Really?
But I've broken it the last 2 times.
Dude,
so
let's go. We were actually right here. Me, Tom, Troy, Trey, Alec. Like there was like 8 of us playing 40K. We were playing 2 games on Sunday. And we were watching a stream.
Hell yeah.
Like, Troy came upstairs. He's like, dude, Cody just did the grossest thing I've ever seen. He just hit a Cascadator with a sustained 2-shot and just one-shot that bitch. I'm like, dude, I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, that just happened. He just like ended this guy's life.
Yeah,
it was freaking.
He texted me and I didn't get it, and I guess I was like sitting there where the camera could see me.
Yeah.
And he had messaged me on Discord. He's like, Cody's a loser.
Yeah,
like,
he's talking shit.
I was like,
what the hell?
Yeah, and he goes, oh, I was hoping you'd see it and look up at the camera and smile or something. At me. So
man,
man, it was cool, man. I like doing it, and Joe's like such a good dude, man.
Yeah,
like,
he's
fun to do, and yeah,
one of us.
So I'm glad I could.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
and he's killing it right now at WTC.
Dude, I saw it. Thank goodness. Like I saw his numbers were kind of going down a little bit. I'm happy to see like WTC's back to like his healthy, 1,500, 2,000, stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's cool too because he's going to get everybody. Like you're going to get all of Europe and the world watching right now. They're prime time, 5 or 6 o'clock right now, and then America's awake right now.
Yeah.
So they're going to watch too. So that's the cool part.
I've been having a hard time like I've been sleeping later lately, and like I'm going to bed right at like 1:15, 1:30, and it's like then I see Joe's stream come up and like. Last night it was Ganyo at 1:30 a.m. and I was like, I really would like to watch Ganyo play Tau at WTC. So I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it. I didn't get through the whole thing, but yeah.
I watched it this morning.
Yeah.
You want to watch it,
dude? I saw the end score and I was like, damn. Like, I saw the positioning. I saw the 2 Vindicators, the 2 Predators, and I was like, yo, this is bad news bears, man. Like, I have no idea how he doesn't get just dumpster right now, to be honest. Playing Kalyan, like, dude, CSM is spooky for Tau. Like CSM with the shooting castle.
Yeah, he played a great game. Like I don't want to ruin it, but like
yeah, all right.
It shouldn't have been that close.
Yeah, fair.
Like you're right. Like I thought he should have got dumpstered after some stuff happened way early in the game, and then he just and I was surprised too, man. I was looking at his list. I was like, God damn, dude! Like he has so much stuff.
Yeah. Dude, that is one asset that we have. Like, we can just put... Like, if I remove 1 Riptide, I can get, like, 3 units. Or 4 units. And, like, they all, like, pretty good at what they do.
Yeah. And it's also not a Riptide, though.
Yeah, it's also not a Riptide. It's also not the 3rd Riptide, which is the issue.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Cool, man. Well, thanks so much. Like, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day. Like, this is great. Like, I love talking 40K. You're the freaking man.
Oh, yeah.
And
anytime, man. And if you wanna talk, again, man, let me know. Like maybe we can set this up again.
Dude, I would love to do that. That'd be pretty sick. Absolutely. I want to have like other people on for the community because I think that's one thing that I don't see a lot from content creators is like, well, like Art of War is the exception, but like talking to people like you or like Roddy, he's number 2 in the world at Blood Angels right now. Like, just like. I see a lot of content creators doing like their faction, like their opinions kind of a thing, but they don't get the flip side,
Yeah.
So I totally agree. I think it would be sick.
Yeah, no problem, man. And let me know if there's anything else that you want to know or something like that, dude. I'll get back on here. This is fun.
Dude, hell yeah. Cool, man. Well, I'll catch you later, Cody. Thanks so much, bro.
All right, man. Take care, dude.
Yeah, I'll catch you later. Peace. So thanks again to Cody for giving us his wisdom on the Tau versus Drukhari matchup. Really enjoyed the conversation. Hope we can have one again sometime soon. And if you made it to the end of the video, please just help out the algorithm a little bit. Hit me with a like, a comment. Let me know what your thoughts. Was I wrong about anything? Was Cody wrong about anything? I really appreciate it. So thanks again, everybody. Catch you in the next one. Peace.